don't let people's assumptions become part of your beliefs. I grew up listening from my teachers and everyone like, you're such a pretty girl, you're gonna just marry a rich guy and and that pissed me off so much. But
Which is literally why I fucking love you.
It pissed me off. It pissed me off in a very constructive way. It made me realize that not only was I not that, but I'm like, okay, I'm definitely gonna prove you wrong. And I made it like spark my fire. You know what I mean? So you could take negativity and like fuel your tank. And I think people need to know this.
And it's funny that you even say negativity because most people be like, well, they're giving you a compliment. You know, they're saying you're so pretty. Exactly.
That's a backhanded compliment. It's like, hey, you're so pretty. All you have to do is marry a rich guy. And I'm like, that's all?
Excuse me. I have my own brain. I have my own dreams. And that's why I think you're like my soul sister because I've literally thought that too when I was little, like 500-person town. Like I was like, and not that that's wrong to have those dreams or to want to like raise a family, but I always thought like, how can we impact the world? How can we go out and like help as many people as possible I
don't like when people use your characteristics as your advantage. Like, oh, because you're a woman, you could do this, or because you're a pretty girl, you got that. It's like, no, I worked my ass off. I started working at 13. I didn't just get things by luck. Everything was earned. So I think that's where the defense mechanism came with.
What's up, everyone? You are listening to Wake Up Naked. I am your host, Esmey Leon. We're going in deep into ourselves. We're going to be talking about ideas and concepts and things that have the potential to actually change our lives. So get excited, get ready, and what are you waiting for? Come over here and get naked with me.
Hey, what's up, team? And welcome to the Wake Up Naked podcast. We have Heba Ali in the house once again.
Hello. It's great to be here again.
And last time we were talking, a super juicy conversation about energy and Instagram. And actually, you shared what David Goggin calls a cookie in a jar is something that you've overcome. I'm not doing a great job of explaining it, but he talked about like you get fire from things that you've been through in the past where your mind told you, you're not going to get through that. Who do you think you are? And then you do. And that is something that you can add to your jar and you can always go back and get it. Now, you shared with us there was a moment where your Instagram account got shut down. And to most people, they'd be like, what? Or to some people, they might think like, so what? But this is your business. This is your livelihood. This is your connection. And to some degree, as you said before, part of your identity.
It was just like a black hole of like where my passion went and also it was self-development. I think if anyone owns or runs a social media account, that you're forced to do like some form of introspection because you think about everything you're going to post. You think about a caption. You think about how you're going to, how it's going to represent you. And you want to it's a reflection of you. So it's in a sense like intertwined into your identity. So like losing it was definitely a challenge for me. But again, like we said in the last podcast, there was a huge lesson and growth to come out of it.
Now, I'm only mentioning this because I'm intrigued with this and feel free to say as much or as little as you want about the experience.
Here we go.
But depression and when shit hits the fan and you like go into a black hole. I went through a gnarly depression in my 20s where it was such a black hole. I remember thinking like it'd be so much easier to be dead. Like, and I don't think I'd ever would have had a moment of actually like killing myself. But I remember just feeling so bad and feeling a pain that I had never experienced before. And moving out of it, what I got was immense compassion, immense connection to other humans and like and so anyway, with that, I'm wondering, did you experience anything like that? And what were the tools you used to move through that?
So, oh my God, I'm such a conceptual thinker that I have 4 things I want to talk about that you just said. But let me start with the first one. When you said that you went to this hole and it would be easier to be dead. Like, I want to talk about suicide because I think a lot of people who think about like, oh my God, I wish I could just die right now. And then they think they have a problem. It just, those thoughts are so much more common than you think.
Yes.
So don't think that because you feel this way, there's a significant problem that is not capable of resolving. And secondly, what I perceive depression as is just loss of hope. That's what it is. You lost hope and whatever it is that is affecting you. And for me, I went through that depression. Like when it hit me, again, when life throws a curveball at you, it's a curveball for a reason. You didn't expect it. So it's going to be a traumatic experience. There will be an emotional response. And I was aware of my feelings. Again, going back to, this is just part of my personality. And I knew I was either going to ride out this depression or I was going to figure out what is the solution. And maybe it's not always there. Maybe it's like I knew like I lost hope and I was like, you have all the tools you need inside of you. Literally, there's no one outside of you that's going to baby you through this. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in working and discovering what the growth of this is. So I first stepped out of the victim role. And then I started thinking about, what am I going to do now? Like, that's a hard question because everyone's looking into the future. That's why they're so anxious. Anxiety is like thoughts of the future, things that that aren't present.
Yeah. That reminds me of there's a quote that says, so what, now what?
Yeah.
Whatever happened.
Yeah.
So what, now what?
Yeah. So be present and live the day by day, one step at a time. Don't overwhelm yourself with what you have to do because it's going to put you in this like fight or flight mode and you're going to be fluttered. There's going to be no creativity for problem solving, which is crucial when you're trying to think about solutions. Like create that space. I honestly just let go. Like it wasn't, I can't even say it was overnight because I don't remember. I just remember thinking about it often and often and I just got over it. I was just like, you just need to let go and accept whatever it is. Like I said, it was accepting that I couldn't attach myself to anything and being open to whatever experience was coming my way.
Yeah. And would you say that like what has happened since then has just been like the best thing that's ever happened to you? Or what came out of that now that you're just like, I get it, connecting the dots, right?
What came out of that is gaining control over myself. Like I truly believe that social media controlled me. Because I never had this perspective of how it could affect me. You know what I'm saying? And then I lost it and it affected me so much that I was even shocked. It's like, wow, like how can an electronic app or something like this affect me so much? And that was another area that just opened up, that was so insightful. So I gained control over my relationship with social media, how to use it in a healthy way.
And I remember when I had met you, that hadn't happened yet. And then we're on different sides of the states. So we ran into each other again at Gold's Venice. And I remember even like physically, obviously it was a different look, but the physical is not even anything because it's always a reflection of your inside. Your outside is always a reflection of your inside. So when I saw you again, I was like, whoa, Heba looks so different. But it wasn't, again, the physicality. It was your energy. And I remember we were talking and you're like, dude, I'm so much more peaceful now.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
That's like the first thing you said.
I'm telling you, it's so peaceful being on this side of the world. And when I say this side of the world, it's outside of conformity, outside of trying to do something that's genuinely not you. It's on this side of the world where you're aware, where you're happy with who you are, even while you're in the progress of going to the better version of you. Like social media for so many people, whether you're someone who's on there looking for inspo or you are providing the inspo, you need to master your relationship with social media.
And you had mentioned earlier, social media can end up, you didn't use the word jaded, but in your opinion, what would you say to people that are wanting to be a social influencer? And I say that term loosely, but you were talking about earlier a huge lesson that you wanted to share about that, and not needing like, or not making it seem like you can't change. Because I think to your point, that thing happened where you lost your account, lost your identity, and then you're like, wait, what is my identity? And do I have to be one thing? And I think sometimes we get this idea that we have to portray this one thing. What's your opinion on that?
So what I was going about with that is more so for the influencers, being that my role online was this educational, authoritative person that was providing inspiration for people, and this has to do with those people who are in this position. I think they feel very, very anxious to constantly post what their audience is used to, and they're afraid to step out of this box. So they box themselves, and this is what I'm about, this is what my following likes, and they're afraid to step out and put something new on there. And I feel that this hinders growth completely, and this makes you so anxious. Like, this is why anxiety is so high. So many influencers are afraid to show a side of them that emerged, or they're afraid of changing because they don't know what the response is going to be. Like, is it not going to get enough likes, or this, you know what I mean? This whole trend of people just following whatever brings them the most engagement, like the comedy skits, like people who get on fitness and they do comedy just because it gets more views, but genuinely it's not them. You know what I'm saying? I think that these leaders, which they are, should be okay with changing and sharing all sides of them. Going back to what we talked about, not being one dimensional, not thinking you have to be one thing. Like, if you're strong, it doesn't mean that you don't love fashion, or if you're a hardcore girl in the gym, doesn't mean you don't like to dress up in heels and get pretty. And if you like to, again, we talked about all the different, you could be resilient but emotional. I think because I regulate my emotions very well, people will read me as cold, but I'm emotional. I love expression. And so you can be a multitude of things.
Yeah. And do you mind sharing? Because I thought that this was interesting. And I've gotten things like this before. And I'll share mine first. That way you'll feel more comfortable sharing yours. But
here we go.
I had someone say, you know, I posted this picture in a bikini. And actually, that took me a long time. Now I don't give a fuck. But it took me a while to be like, oh my God, this is a Brazilian swimsuit. Like, what are people going to say? And then eventually I got like, who cares what people are going to say? If someone judges me, it says more about them than it does about me, right? And so anyway, I had someone say to me, wow, Esmey, that picture in a bikini, it's so not you. You're so bubbly and friendly. And I was like, what do you mean it's not me? Like, that's an aspect of me. I can be friendly and bubbly and sexy, like in one human body. I'm like, why is that so hard?
That's interesting how you say, and I can be sexy. So you perceive like in a bikini sexy, and so do most people. But there are people who also see being in a whatever white gown as sexy. So also like it goes way beyond the eye of the beholder. So, but generally speaking,
and that's what she was inferring. Because she was like, "Oh, it's so sexy and fierce, like it's not you." And I'm like, "What are you?" I'm slightly offended by that.
No, I got a DM recently too. Should I read it?
Okay. I want. Because I think this is important, because I think that, to your point, there's this idea that we're one way, and then it's so hard for us to reveal a different way once everyone else says that that's who we are, or they confirm the idea of that's who we are, right?
Yes, I agree. Was this 3 days ago?
3, 4, 5
was
days
this
ago?
A year ago? No, this was it's coming up. No, this is a good one, because I wasn't used to, like, I actually never got a message like this. I have 2 accounts. One is my fitness page, and the other is like a fashion lifestyle page. And if I can't find the DM, I'll just
generalize.
Oh, I found it.
Perfect.
It's a little long, but bear with me. Hi, Heba. I just wanted to tell you, you've been a huge inspiration for a while now. You are so strong physically and mentally, and just naturally a beautiful woman overall. I do have a comment to make, and I hope this doesn't bother you. I feel some of your posts are more showing your physical beauty lately, which of course it's amazing, but I'm just noticing that. And I really like your content about workouts, motivation, nutrition, travel a lot more. I feel it's more you. Again, hope it doesn't come off the wrong way, but I would love to continue to be inspired by you, not just because of your outer beauty, but mostly the inner beauty you carry within yourself. Much love. I completely understood this, because I have 2 completely different accounts. You go on Evolve Nation, you see this hardcore beast, and then you go on Hybrid Heba, and it's this soft, mysterious, like creative person.
Mhm.
And so this is my way of like splitting up my content as like a creative and very categorical person. Like I like to separate my stuff. So I understood her perception of it. So my response was, thanks for sharing your thoughts. There's nothing wrong with sharing physical beauty. I find it's more transparent. It's also a part of my life. I love taking care of myself in every way. Much love. And she responded very nice, and she understood and she agreed. But
It just goes back to this
Yeah.
point that if what I got from that when you first read it was like, oh, you're a conscious, beautiful, like you have a beautiful mind and you're conscious.
Mhm.
But that means that because you're conscious, that when you show your beautiful physical side to the world, that those two things
Yeah.
can't coexist.
And I think, yeah, also the self-love thing, it's like on one extreme, right? Like there was just one thing I saw on social media that made me kind of upset. And it was like self-love. And it was a picture of an incredibly obese woman eating a pizza. And I think that to a certain degree, they're promoting an unhealthy life and they're validating it or justifying it through this trend of self-love. I think self-love is taking care of yourself. Doesn't mean you have to be any size, but
or have this six pack.
yeah, self-love is just taking care of yourself in every way. So if I'm this beast and I'm this mentally in tuned person or spiritual, whatever it is, it doesn't mean that I can't also care about my aesthetics.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? They want you to either care so much about this inner world or the outer world. Well, why can't I be in the middle? Why
Yeah.
can't I be both?
Yeah. And I think that's a huge thing. And I don't hear a lot of people talk about this. And I think there's all these like secret judgments happening behind,
Mhm.
behind your people's minds where if someone's beautiful, then you have all these like assumptions about it or,
Mhm.
Whatever it may be. But I do go back to that. And I think that's an important topic where, oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, finish it. I thought you were done.
Oh, no, just an important topic that we don't have to be one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And don't let the world make you feel like you have to choose one aspect of yourself because there's so many and you can be so strong and yet like gentle at the same time.
Yeah.
And especially men, I think they think they have to choose with that particular thing. Like
Yeah.
they're strong and they can't be gentle, but you can, and it actually makes you a more magnetic person, I think. Like
Yeah.
people are magnetized to you.
Yeah, there's a deeper connection. But also with assumptions, it's not only like you have to be one thing or the other. It's when you are exposed to these assumptions. Once you're receiving them, there's so many people, especially with family, like when they get this input from family, like what they're doing is like not a lot. I guess I could say a lot of minority families, like they want their kids to go have this certain job, whether it's nursing or whatever it is.
My dad wanted me to be a dentist. He always
My mom wanted me. Hold on, my mom wanted me to be a radiologist. I also wanted to be a radiologist, and then I shadowed them, and I said, "There's no way I'm living 12 years in school and then working in a box, hiding from radiation." So it was. I love school. I love academics, but I also knew it was not me. But I dealt with a lot of heat from my mom and just my culture with doing what I do in my profession.
Why do you think that was?
Because it was a masculine job and it wasn't like professional. I mean, now like the fitness world is booming and it's just like before when I was a trainer, it was belittling to my mom. Like she didn't think it was good enough for me. And it was also a man's job and all this stuff. But I didn't let that assumption hold me back. And I also didn't have a bad relationship with my mom because of it, because I understood her number one ancient way of thinking and her cultural way of thinking. I just knew what it was and I said, all right, keep it moving along.
What's
You had
been the
something to say?
most awesome lesson that your mom has taught you? Because I'm first generation Mexican, so I'm also, grew up as a minority, even though that sounds like a weird thing. I grew up as a minority.
Yeah.
But it's true, like culturally, So, so yeah, I can relate when you're saying that. And even like my family and Latinos in general, like old school Latinos have this feeling of like, well, as long as you have your health and
I mean, everyone,
like
even like the Asian, everyone had their cultural norms of how they want their children to go. Like in the Asian culture, it's nursing,
Yeah.
nursing. And so it's okay to break outside of that and still
Yeah.
believe in yourself and love your parents. Like, you don't have to continue what you're doing and then have a bad relationship with your parents.
Yeah. And also, you said something earlier where you can understand people. Like, you
Yeah.
get where they come from
Yeah.
in that same way with their parents.
It still hurt
You
me
can-
though. It still hurt
Really?
me because you
What
want
hurt you?
like the fact that my mom didn't like or wasn't proud of what I did and it wasn't good enough, that hurt. And because I know she wants the best for me, so I'm like, okay, I'm good. But then there's times where I'm like, I just wish that all the hard work I'm putting in, she could be proud of, but it's not something she valued. So I just had to take it for what it was, but I knew like it was just coming out of love.
When was the moment, or has there been a moment where your mom was like, oh, Heba, you knew what you were doing all along? Was there that moment?
Yeah, there was when she started to realize how many people knew me, like her family and her friends from Jordan, because I'm Jordanian. I'm not Egyptian, by the way. Everyone thinks I'm Egyptian because I love going to the pyramids. But everyone in Jordan was talking about me, and my mom's like, how does everyone in Jordan know you? Like, my brothers are calling me, their kids, and they want me to send them your recipe that you posted yesterday. And I'm just laughing.
You're like, Mom, look at my Instagram.
You realize how small the world is. Like, seriously, someone across the whole world is looking at my recipe. But anyway,
So cool.
that moment. But still, I think what makes her more excited is for me to slow down and settle, I guess. She doesn't like seeing me like working so hard, because to her it's like, my cute daughter is just like traveling all alone and she works too much.
Meanwhile, you're all like, woo!
and I try to explain to her, like, I don't think minority parents understand what passion is. Like, Mom, I'm really passionate about this. And she's like, but don't you want to slow down? And I'm like,
But
no.
don't you want a man that takes care of you?
Yeah. And so wait, talking about that, the assumptions thing, don't let people's assumptions become part of your beliefs. I grew up listening from my teachers and everyone, like, you're such a pretty girl, you're gonna just marry a rich guy, and and that pissed me off so much. But it pissed me,
Which is literally why I fucking love you.
it pissed me off. It pissed me off in a very constructive way. It made me realize that not only was I not that, but I'm like, okay, I'm definitely gonna prove you wrong. And I made it like spark my fire. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you could take negativity and like fuel your tank. And I
Yeah.
think people need to know this.
And it's funny that you even say negativity, because most people be like, well, they're giving you a compliment. You know, they're saying
That's
you're
not a
so pretty.
compliment.
Exactly.
That's a backhanded compliment. It's like, hey,
Like,
you're so pretty. All you have to do is marry a rich guy. And I'm like, that's all?
Excuse me, I have my own brain. I have my own dreams. And that's why I think you're like my soul sister, because I've literally thought that too when I was little, like 500 person town. Like, I was like, and not that that's wrong to have those dreams or to want to like raise a family, but I always thought like, how can we impact the world? How can we go out and like help as many people as possible? And
I don't like when people use your characteristics as your advantage. Like, oh, because you're a woman, you could do this, or because you're a pretty girl, you got that. It's like, no, I worked my ass off. I started working at 13. I didn't just get things by luck. Everything was earned. So I think that's where the defense mechanism came, was because I know I work hard and I am not looking for shortcuts. So yeah, that definitely fueled me.
Like, you're just not like another pretty face.
No, I love challenges. I genuinely do. And it's like when you realize that that's where all the growth comes from, there's no longer, you're not intimidated. You're like, all right, give me more.
Okay. Well, this has been freaking amazing, and I could talk to you for hours, weeks. We'll have you back soon, I have a feeling. But I do want to ask a couple questions that I think, as we wrap up here, that I think are important and that people are really going to enjoy. First of all, right now, as we wrap up these last couple of minutes, what are you most grateful for in your life right now? Share with us, please.
I mean, I can't not pick my mom, because you asked earlier, like, what has biggest lesson your mom's taught you? And as children, as humans, we learn through observational learning. And it wasn't to no surprise that I was this young, ambitious girl that wanted to work so young. And that came from my mom. She raised us like as a single mom, and she worked 3 jobs, and she got a home right in front of a middle school. Like, she was strategic, and like she just found a way. And that just I learned it
Yeah.
indirectly
Like,
and
chill.
indirectly
Yeah.
and directly. And so I pay a lot of who I am to my mom and what I watched her go through, because that translated into my character.
Yeah. That's so awesome.
So I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Like,
Thank
literally.
you. Thank you to all the moms in the
Yeah,
world.
seriously.
Okay. And to honor
Our
your time, we'll
superheroes.
boom through these last couple. What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
Oh my God.
I know. I know. You weren't ready for this boom session, were you?
Best advice I was given. Don't look back. I know it sounds okay. So when I was going through, okay, this quote was given to me from a friend when I was going through like a relationship breakup, and I'm the type of person that loves, like, I can close a door when I know I need to walk away, but I also love the challenge of giving another person a chance and working through it and all these things. And these 3 words like literally marinated in, and they stick with me, so that when I have a gut feeling that something's not right, make your decision and don't look back. Because a lot of times you'll feel guilty or you think that you need to go back, and I'm just like, if your gut is telling you that something's not right, trust it and don't look back. So that like stays with me in not only relationships but business decisions, anything.
Yeah. That's awesome. And there must be a lot of peace with that. Where you're like, don't look back. Okay. And this is the final question. What are you next really looking forward to?
2020. I'll tell you why.
Yes, please.
Because running my company for the last 5 years has been really hard. Going to school has been really hard. Finishing my semester has been really hard. And like I said, you have to understand in certain phases in your life what is on top of your value system and how you're structuring it. So I love what I'm doing with business, but I had to put that down while I finished school, and I'm finishing in 5 weeks. So that means 2020 is going to be a crazy year with expanding my movement, my traveling, and everything. So I'm really looking forward to 2020 and all of the ventures that I'm going to get into.
That sounds amazing. Well,
Yeah.
Heba, you've been amazing. Thank you so much for all your insights, for your essence, and just for being such a amazing, inspiring woman.
You're going to make me cry.
No, seriously, this is total acknowledgement. Like, since the day one that I met you, one of the things I love about you is your no bullshit attitude. You get what you see, take it or leave it. You're great at setting boundaries, and I know that people see you and they see your beauty. You will not believe the messages I'm getting just from her in my stories. And guys are like, meh. But they see your outside. And what I love the most about you is your soul, your
Thank you.
passion, your kindness. And you are truly here on this planet genuinely because you want to help people. Like, genuinely. Genuinely. So
I think she's trying to make me cry.
no,
guys.
this is all from the heart and truthfully. So I commend you, and I'm so happy that we met.
Wasn't it great that we're soul sisters? Because you embody all of that too.
Oh, I love you, hon. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
thanks
And
for
next
tuning in, guys.
next time I get to ask her the questions.
Ooh.
Yeah. Thank you guys, and thank you for having me, Esmey.
Of course.
Hey, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you got as much out of that as I did. If you have not hit the subscribe button, make sure to go back and hit subscribe and keep coming back. Team, we are going to the top, and I will see you there. I'm out.